I started drinking alcohol first. I was selling drugs. I used crack cocaine. I've been in jails. I've been in institutions. The end of the road was when I was homeless.
My drug of choice was heroin. There's no limit that you won't go to get the next one, just to be okay. I think that's one of the biggest misconceptions. That or like it's fun, because it's not fun. I mean, you don't even feel like a person.
Got on drugs pretty bad before I went in the military, continued with it during the Vietnam War.
I lost my sister in 2015 to addiction, and I've seen it ravage families. Addiction does not discriminate. Homelessness does not discriminate.
I had an amazing career. I worked for many years, paramedic for almost 20 years. Before all this happened, I never thought addiction would happen to me.
I lived in the projects. My husband, myself. I have 3 children that smoke crack cocaine. My husband smoked crack cocaine. And eventually it got out of hand.
I drove up into an apartment complex. The stickers were outdated. When they pulled me over, all they could do was impound my car. As I was walking away, the police officer found a rock of crack that I had been looking for a month and a half. And when they grabbed me, I told the officers, I know this is going to sound strange, but thank you.
After the military, I was stationed in California at the height of the Vietnam War. There wasn't a drug that came back that we couldn't get. You know, after Daddy did what he did, then Mommy lived. He shot her and then killed himself. It has an effect on you.
I was a single mother to my daughter, and I bounced from different family members' houses. I started using around the age of 18 years old.
I found my father dead. He had committed suicide. And I was already far into drug addiction by then. And chances of me getting out of that cycle after living through that were slim and none.
From using crack cocaine and just hit bottom. And all my life, I didn't know how I got there, but I needed a way out.
24 years of hardcore partying, being a drinker. I had numerous jobs that I did enjoy, lost many of them due to being a non-functioning alcoholic.
I grew up in the 60s and I was attracted to the dark lifestyle in my community and struggled for at least 35 to 40 years.
My whole adult life was basically a lot of years of struggling through addiction and mental health struggles that were going untreated. I got out of being incarcerated and had nowhere to go. I had to go to a homeless advocate to even get the tent to sleep in the woods.
I started out using marijuana when I was 15. I was abused as a child, sexually abused. That was my way of numbing the pain.
When I was 13, I did marijuana. I drank just because it made me feel good and my other friends were doing it. I started selling drugs and then kind of took off from there.
My life was unmanageable. I lived to use, to drink. But the most important thing, I was violent, torturing myself for numerous of years.
My childhood, basically, my mother and my brother and I, we lived in every battered women's shelter in this area. We've all been homeless, we've all been in jail, we've all been diagnosed with different things, we've been exploited.
People who are experiencing homelessness, they need to be seen, they need to be understood. We need to take time to hear their stories and then come alongside them.
I think the desperation, waking up in a tent, not being able to bathe for a week or two. There's just that look when they hit bottom and they're just sick and tired of being sick and tired.
I think most women, by the time they get to us, they feel like this is my last shot.
We are celebrating 70 years, and one of the things that's been consistent for that 70 years is that Light of Life has needed to adapt to the needs of the community. About 5 years ago, we noticed the people that were coming out into the streets were not necessarily the same demographic of homeless that were before. The outreach team, every day they go out.
We have a lot of that were in college. And some of the others, younger people, we don't know the trauma that they went through in their homes, or even cases of being raped.
I was a heroin addict. I've been clean 28 years. I lived in a tree shack for about 3 months. You know, this is, there's a personal investment.
How long have you been here?
Like 3 months.
Did you grow up in Pittsburgh?
Yeah, Southside. My mom's in Canonsburg. Grandma's in Brookline.
How long have you been using?
Oh, 2016. Oh, yeah, I was dope, yeah.
How you feeling today?
Sick.
And how many people live here with you?
Like 6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever wanted to get off permanently?
Yeah, I do, and then I get back on it.
Yeah. Have you talked to your mom recently?
A couple of weeks ago.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Does she miss you?
Yeah.
Yeah? Yeah.
Within our county, over the last 5 years, we've lost over 400 transitional housing beds. That's very important. About 25% of the street homeless in our country, housing first is an appropriate first step and right step for them. But for the other 75%, they need support. Even in times when we are in an overflow situation, homeless will want to be around us. And they say because they feel safe where we are. We want to make sure that all of them have a place with dignity where they can stay. We're working with community partners to discover what those solutions are. Part of our strategy is not only reaching those who are homeless, but to also prevent people from becoming homeless. The fastest growing population of homeless are women with children. When we see a woman who is about to be evicted, we want to come alongside them with rental assistance, working with their landlords, being advocates for them, because we know it's better for that mother.
You know, when I was in the throes of things, community rallied around my daughter and helped her complete high school. If it weren't for the women at Light of Life reminding me, like, this is why we do what we do.
I learned the importance of my relationship with God. I also learned my own value. I had probably zero esteem when I got there. I would have never went back to school if it wasn't for Light of Life.
That the opposite of sobriety is community? Absolutely, I'm a firm believer in that.
You know, I have my moments in life where I feel unworthy, but I know today that I am a daughter of the King. One of my favorite scriptures is Philippians 4:13, that I can do all things through Christ that strengthen me. That scripture has gotten me through so much turmoil and pain being clean and sober.
Some of the trials and tribulations of our guests that come to the shelter, they're me. You know, it's actually a blessing to be able to share my experience, strength, and hope with these men.
I think of how much love Light of Life provided, and what it was like to walk through those doors of that shelter and take a deep breath and sense hope and be able to breathe effortlessly. It's crazy how powerful it was. But, sorry. It's an amazing experience to come through addiction into recovery.
My daughter and I were the first clients at the Women and Children's Shelter. I formed a sisterhood with the women in the program. I'm a CCAC student now and working towards a degree in nursing. We have our own place that is safe. I've been able to repair relationships with my family, most importantly, my relationship with my daughter. There is nothing the same about my life now as it was prior to coming to the Light of Life.
The hope is that we see in the changes of the lives of the people that come to Light of Life. When they are given an opportunity to be in a Christ-centered environment where people love and care for them, healing happens. The ultimate rescue mission was Jesus coming back to earth and realizing that we were lost and he loved us. We are a community of those who have been rescued. The end game for us is to see homelessness eliminated, one life at a time. When one heart is changed, then a family can be changed. And when a family can be changed, then a community can be changed. And when a community can be changed, a city can be changed.